Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors in Winston, Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a great show, got a good special guest here. Also have a little video to show you, so all kind of good things going on our Panhandle Outdoors show. Our weather brought to us by Drew Potter's company, Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. We're looking at a high today of 88, a low of 74, and the water temperature at the end of the pier actually went up 1 degree. It's up to 88 right now, so it's been a good way to wrap up August, and today is the first day of September. It's hard to believe. I blinked twice, and I know you did too, and August was gone. I know one thing we've had, though, we've had some really good rain. The other afternoon, or maybe Wednesday afternoon, rain came through all the folks in Lynn Haven and up in our area and came on down 231. But it's one of those summer rains that it just came straight down. Didn't have any wind or anything. It wasn't too hard. It wasn't too light. It was just that steady summer rain, and that's the sort of a special category of rains. I don't know if you categorize your rains. You know, some come in like this, but that was one of those rains that just really was good for the yard and trees and all. And I just sat there on the porch and just watch it rain. And sometimes we forget about enjoying those little things in life. But it was a good rain. River readings, speaking of rain, brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. The Apalachicola runs down to 5.2, got a little bit of a drop to it, and we're facing a little bit of rain this weekend, but you can find a place to fish on the river somewhere, I know, along the Choctahatchee at Caryville. This is a 4.9, and this right now is going to, like I say, it's going to start going up, but it's pretty steady right now to 4.9, so it did drop out the last day or two. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We finally get back in some decent tides, but look at Saturday morning's tide. What a great falling tide we will have on Saturday. If you have time to get out and fish in the bay systems, strong falling tide. Our wind direction will be coming out southeast at about 8. It's been less than 10 now for about 7 or 8 days, so it's been good. And top water bite is really good. We're going to talk about this tomorrow, and really because the water has been so calm. So let's take a break. We'll come back with our special guest. Welcome back, and look who's back. And graced our presence this morning, Captain Rick Corley. Welcome back.
Good morning.
We're sitting here with all kinds of things to talk about. We're sitting here talking about dogs, and Captain Rick lost yours a little while back. But
about a year ago, I lost Bailey, and of course, I just in mid-July went up to Tennessee. Guy had a another carrying terrier that needed rescue. The original owner had gotten killed in Afghanistan, so. I took the dog, I went up and got him, and well, her, it's another female. Great dogs though, fantastic dog.
I asked Rick, what did he name her? She was already named.
She was already named, her name's Peyton.
Peyton, and then Jeff figured out real quick, it was named after, from Tennessee, named after Peyton Manning. So,
yeah.
And I started talking about, I got a friend, before he had a dog named Tebow, so a lot of us named dogs after our heroes and all. Well, you've been pretty busy lately?
I'm retired now.
Well, I know you've been retired, but you've been busy.
Yeah, I've been busy enough. There's always things to do. I hear it, and I found out it's true that usually you're working harder when you retire than you were when you were working for a living.
Well, we talk about that. Yeah. I believe that's true also. But it's enjoyable, and you don't have to punch the clock.
No, it's my pick, and I like that.
We were talking the other night when we set up coming up here about boats, surveyors and all, and you were telling me there's some folks coming in that's really not qualified now. And we need to mention that because we get in trouble with insurance companies and all. So what happened?
The thing is, you got people that come in and claim to be a surveyor. Well, no, that's just because you own a sailboat or a powerboat or a rowboat or whatever for 5 years doesn't make you a surveyor. Mm-hmm. You need to go somewhere. In fact, what caused this was right after World War II. My dad was one of the first 12 that was picked to start the profession as a marine surveyor, really, in civilian life. They used to have classification surveyors, and they started realizing, hey, just because a guy runs a marina or ran a shipyard or something of that nature makes him an expert. No, it doesn't. So they started back then, and in the 60s, National Marine Surveyors came into being, and later it morphed into National Association of Marine Surveyors Global. And then another group was Society of Accredited Marine Surveyors. Well, the accreditation with SAMS is good enough in most cases, but the certification is stronger because the certification, their requirements to get in, the test and all, is very difficult. I took it, and you know, I was almost 51 years as a surveyor, and I was both certified and accredited. And I've taken all of the tests. I'm one of the only surveyors in the world that's taken all of the survey qualifications and passed them. And you know, if I were looking for a surveyor today, I would definitely look for a named certified marine surveyor first. If you can't find him, then look for an accredited surveyor with SAMS. If he doesn't have any accreditation or certification, your best bet is to go find you a surveyor that is, because in the event you wind up in court, you've got a real problem, because one has credentials and the court looks at that.
Yeah.
And you got another guy over here that just you know, I am. Well, where's your credential? They'd probably throw him out of court.
Well, I know that's important. We've talked about it, and a lot of times you don't know the history of the boat. And I had a cousin trying to sell a friend's boat, but they didn't want to pay for the survey. I said, well, I wouldn't say anything about it then if you don't want to pay for it. It's well worth the money to pay for a survey.
Absolutely. The thing is, and if a yacht broker says, oh, you don't need a survey, yacht broker's not very smart either. Yeah. Because here's the thing, every one of these boats, new, old, doesn't matter. It's built by people. People make mistakes. People also have a bad day. You know, it's like the old thing about a car. Buy a car made on Wednesday. Don't buy one built on Monday or Friday.
Yeah, on Friday. Friday afternoon especially. Yeah. They had a hurry to get out of the shop. But that's not true anymore, because they do.
No, but
in early days,
there's some validity to it. I used to sell vehicles, and I'm telling you, sometime Monday they come in, they have things in there. You check them. Yeah.
That's true. Well, let's take a break. We'll be right back, Captain Rick. Okay, welcome back. So here with Captain Rick to finish up what we're talking about. People don't realize you were a pilot for a large corporation of automobile manufacturers. You flew these executives around and all as a private pilot. Yeah. So you actually saw some.
Well, when I wasn't doing that, I was selling vehicles, and of course we sold pickups. And if they had a problem, somebody just run on the production line, sometimes you'd have one truck come in with a different tailgate on it, and you look at it and say, now you got to take that tailgate off, send it back. Well, not send it back. We usually kept it because we sold both kinds. Yeah. But they'd have to order another tailgate and put it on stuff. And
y'all figured it out. I mean, they proved that actually was a Monday job when they put it together. Somebody probably had a hangover or something.
Or mad at somebody online and just thought, well, I'll fix them.
So that stuff really did happen. Yeah, I mean, it's proven. Well, anyway, let's move on to some outdoor stuff. We're talking about floundering, especially back in the early days. You grew up around Grand Lagoon, and you saw some. And you flounder a lot yourself.
I tell you, floundering in Grand Lagoon used to be great. Down there close to Alligator Point, and I'm pretty sure it's not that bad now. Yeah. You'd use 12 bolt, and instead of some people would pole along in a boat, but heck, I used to would pull the boat behind me in the shallows and walk with that light, because the battery it was hooked to was in the boat. And of course, that was the place you put your fish, but you walk along and stand.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I was going to get to that point at that time, a lot of people walked, and people are getting back doing that now, because by those lights, you put the battery in the boat, and just in shallow water.
Yeah.
You can run. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you gig them. You're walking in knee-deep water.
Yeah.
You know, and gig them. And I tell you, over there in the Gulf County Canal, down each side,
Yeah,
that's great floundering.
Yeah, and another thing too about I want to talk about the evolution of the lights. In these early days, well, the very early ones where the Native Americans actually put a torch. We talked about that on the front of the canoes and all. But then started the next generation of where these what we call 1,000 lumen bulbs from Fisher Stinson Hardware here on Airport Road, and that's worked for a long time.
Now you got LED light, puts you in shock.
Now the LED lights looks like airports and all. But I got a little 5-minute video I want to show you of me rigging up my boat. But my last time I rigged it up with 1,000 lumens. So Joe Eddy and Jeff Carroll, all these big flounder guys, I want y'all to watch this. This is our predecessors to what y'all are doing now. These two guys here, I'm talking about, they have some kind of setup. So I was just going to show you this little video, then we'll come back with Captain Rick. So Jeff, let's roll it. This is another in the series of floundering lights. You know, we talked about buying new floundering lights already rigged up and all, but I've always sort of enjoyed doing things myself and making things. So I made my own floundering light years ago. I hate to say how old this floundering light is, but I want to show it to you, and it's been very practical. It's worked great. I just want to show you how I made it, and maybe you might be inspired by it, or you might be even laughing at it. But this is okay. I'm going to start down here first of all with the bulb. This is the old-fashioned 1,000 lumen bulb. They don't make these anymore, but man, this has been a good one. Of course, then I epoxied it all up, got it all. Make sure you know he's going to get water in it, but this has been like this for years now. My wires run through here. Now my floater, folks, my dad always told me just make do with what you have, and what I had was this lid on a ice chest. So it sits here like that, and this is lid on a 5-gallon bucket to stop the glare from coming up in my face. You can see this is some old fencing material I had left over from my old PVC fencing job I did. So you can see I don't have a lot of money. I always use stainless on it. I didn't on my hinge right here. I might need to replace it this year, but that wouldn't be any trouble. Okay, so now you see how it's going to work. It's going to float out in front of the boat, and what you got to have now on these rigs, you got to have a little bit of flexibility, because at times at night you're going to sort of bounce a little bit, and you're going to go ahead and have to be able to be flexible. Okay, so what you have here, this hinge, that's the purpose of it. Okay, it's going to be like that, and then when I attach it to the boat right here, all right, I'm going to have to. It's hard to do out of land. It's a lot easier in water. Basically, what I have right here, you'll see. Okay, now here's the other hinge. It's double hinged. Okay. And what I basically do, I just use these big old clamps like this. I've done it all kind of ways, but this works good like this. I put a couple of clamps on it, and on each side, and get it balanced out. So it's going to sit up in the water like this right here, and it'll go back and forth in the water. I have it more toward the bow on either side, but the clamps will hold it. I've used C-clamps a lot of times too. C-clamps can work too. A C-clamp on both sides, but usually clamps I found out to be a lot easier. Okay. Now on the plug-in, you know, the alligator clips and all always work good, but this year I had this done. It's just going to be a little bit easier, I think, on me. So let's watch this. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to show you how I plug it in. Okay, let me lay it up here. I went to professional fiberglass, and I asked Paul if he would help me out on this and put me a little plug in the boat. Okay, a little plug right here, just like your cigarette lighter in the car, and it just plugs in. Now, all right, my battery's back here. It's real convenient just plugging in and out. I plug it in when I'm floundering, and I'm going to take it out when I'm not. I'm going to plug in right here, and you'll see how simple this rig is. You got it plugged in. Of course, it don't look real bright now, but it puts out 1,000 lumens. And the most important thing now, you don't want to have the bulb lit and put it in the water, because it's going to crack on you. It heats up real fast. In fact, it's already hot right now. It's been lit 10 seconds. So make sure you always have it unplugged, put in the water. You always turn the light on when the bulb is in the water. That's rule number one of floundering. All right. All right, next, let's talk about the gig itself. Again, this is a homemade rig I put together. Like I said, I enjoy doing it. The gig itself is a 5-prong stainless steel. Now, you can see this is probably about 15 years old, this one is, but it costs a little bit, but it'll last me my lifetime. So it's really strong. Then I got a 10-foot pole here, good, strong, sturdy pole, it's out of cedar, really. And what happened right here, I just started put a fiberglass cloth over it, and a fiberglass three times, matter of fact, 3 times I fiberglass this. And so this is super strong here because this sort of stress, when if you get a really big one, you're gonna have some stress as you push down on it. And so you want it really strong here in the joint. And also, I just went ahead and put some fiberglass on it, just sort of waterproof it a little bit. It's not completely waterproof, but it's in decent shape. Now on the handle, I put some fiberglass cloth here just for gripping, okay? I've got a good strong grip here, and this is a guide hand when you really push down and guide it, so you want to grip on it. So this is how I did my gig, and been really pleased with it, real balanced, and really lightweight, okay? Now it doesn't matter if you have an old boat, like this old Carter Craft here, or a new boat like my newest Panhandle Outdoors edition. Flounder gigging is an awful lot of fun, especially in late summer and early fall. Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that, and that's already, wasn't that long ago, but it's back in the dark ages doing that kind of light bulb. They don't make them much like that. That's an old street bulb. Let's take a quick look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Our time, 3:28 to 5:28 this morning, and this afternoon, 3:53 to 5:53. You're talking about growing up and around Grand Lagoon and all. You were around some legends.
Oh yeah, well.
Throwing a net. Who taught you how to throw a net?
Captain Walter Anderson.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, he could throw a cast net.
Yeah.
And he used the old style where you hold lead in your teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had been fun, being around those kind of folks and all.
Not only that, well, Captain Charlie S., his father taught me to sail. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I tell people all the time, I was lucky enough in aviation and in the maritime. If I'm not any good, it's all my fault, because I had some of the best people in the whole industry in both cases teach me. I did.
You really did.
Yeah.
And we that part of our legacy and hierarchy as far as going all the way down to the line of learning from, and they had to do it to eat back in those days.
Oh, yeah. Well, even flying, Johnny Reaver. A lot of people don't realize Johnny Reaver was one of the noted air racers in the old Cleveland air racing days up in Ohio. He came from Ohio down here, and he won it. And the Thompson Trophy there in 1948. He was good. Fantastic.
That's cool. We're talking about floundering. Another big thing that I got a picture of this. Talking about right here. How about crab and blue crab? Buddy West posted this. Crabs are coming in, and we've talked about it on the show. Look at that bucket full of blue crabs.
Wow.
And you remember back Grand Lagoon used to be full of crabs.
Yeah. You betcha.
So it's a good time of year to start crabbing.
I used to watch Lonzo down there. He'd clean the fish and throw the heads right over there, and crabs would get there, and everybody just come down there with dip nets.
Yeah.
You didn't have to put the trap out. You just take a dip net and reach down and get some.
And crabs are just flat out good to eat.
Man. Yeah. The crabs, and I love Maryland crab cakes.
Oh, yeah.
As they call them.
Yeah.
And Uncle Ernest makes some real good ones.
Okay.
They did.
I got a couple more pictures. I'm going to run out of time tomorrow now. We're going to, I've got a lot of stuff coming in tomorrow. I do want to show, let's see, one more thing. Going back to old days, how about Penny's Seafood Restaurant? Someone's in this picture up in Southport.
That was a good place to eat.
That was a legendary place, and a lot of folks remember it. I've been looking for a picture of it, and that's the old Penny's. They would sell fish there, and they would cook it. And Donald Penny, he was one of those guys who was always there, no matter what, when you went in.
Yep.
And that was a predecessor, and that right there in the corner. There's a gas station there now. I've always wished they would all, if they could have kept that up, that was a gold mine.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, but there's really,
we've had some fantastic restaurants here.
There's really not any little seafood restaurants anymore up in that area.
No.
The
closest thing I know of there would be Simply Seafood.
Simply Seafood is the place to go right now for fresh seafood. down in St. Andrew, we finally got the captain's table
Yes,
back.
sir. He's back.
And,
Yeah.
and they're serving. So, but the original, talking about food, blue crabs and flounder, where people called and took it to the back door of the fish place and sold it to them. They brought it in, cleaned it, and sold it to the folks and cooked it right there. So you don't see a lot of that anymore. But back in those days, it could have been Southport, West Bay, anywhere.
I used to walk down the dock and they'd be unloading fish, and I'd walk up there and say, "Somebody gonna eat that old dead fish?" And they look at me, well, yeah.
They'd get a kick up. And a lot of people don't realize the amount of hard work in doing and getting those fish and lifting them in a big tub.
Did you ever seen that with, I did with Captain Williams on the old Seven Brothers?
The old Seven Brothers. No, did you really? That was,
I did.
That
I decked with him.
He was legendary.
Yes, he caught the largest catch a pompano ever caught.
Yep.
It's still in the record. 70,000 pounds in one strike.
The Seven Brothers. It stores in my book. If you have, look up the Seven Brothers out of St. Andrew. It was it actually started over in Destin, came this way because there's more fish over here and less people.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, he could see a school of fish under birds better than anybody I know. And we'd go, and next thing you know, he'd be doing a strike.
Oh, that was great. Captain Rick, we've run out of time again.
Well,
we enjoyed always having you coming on.
If you see me out, say hey. I like talking to people and
me too,
and spending time with them.
Thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate the viewership. Do something good today for your fellow man. God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.